Hi everyone, today we're painting the Northern Lights in watercolor. This is a short beginner-friendly 10-minute tutorial where I'll show you exactly how to get that soft glow and movement without overworking your paper. So let's get started. For the mixing of the paints at the top, we have some clear water, then Winsor Yellow and a stronger version just to the side there. Then at the bottom, we've got Cobalt Turquoise with Winsor Yellow and a stronger version at the side. Then we have some Winsor Blue and Alizarin Crimson. We need clear water with a mop brush all the way over the paper, which is 140-pound arches, rough, taped all the way around to prevent buckling. After the mop brush, we turn to our number 12 round brush, one that's got a fairly good point and it holds a good amount of liquid. Then we've got Winsor Yellow, followed by the green mixture, downward strokes, leaving this light area in the middle as it gets towards the horizon. So these stripes are what we're trying to achieve. And then we have some dark areas, the night sky, and lay those down, let them fuse together into the colors, but trying to preserve as much of the color as possible. And you can, whilst it's still wet, go over those colors to strengthen as necessary. I'm thinking of it as streaks in the sky. And here we're starting to strengthen some. You get different color variations when you read up about northern lights. It can vary quite significantly. Yellows and greens is one of the ones you can get. So having done that, we just drop in some darks at the bottom. Still using a 12 brush. And as always, mop up the edges of the paper to help prevent creep back when we dry off. Dried off with a hairdryer, then clear water over the foreground area, middle distance and near ground, foreground. So clear water first of all over that whole area, because we're going to do some distant hillsides with pine type trees coming off the tops of those hillsides, and we'll be using a flat brush for that. But at the moment I've got something like a number 6, and I want it to be faded at the bottom as if it's a sort of misty feel to it. And use a flat brush, something like a half, or if you feel more comfortable for accuracy, go to a quarter. At half at the moment. And just lay those in nice and varied, not too uniform, not equally spaced, etc. Some thicker, some thinner, some adjoining each other, etc., etc. That's much more natural and realistic. Some taller, some shorter, etc. And then we will dry that off with a hairdryer once we've completed that stage. As you know, this is a timed tutorial of a 10-minute total, and you can see how many minutes are left. 6 to go. Mop brush can be used again. Lay down some clear water, but leaving a gap between this ridge and the furthest ridge. So we've got that misty effect at the bottom of that furthest ridge. And Make sure that your mixture is quite dark. You see, I had to darken it some more there, the Winsor Blue with the Alizarin Crimson. As it's closest towards us, it needs to be darker. Fuse that in, and then flat brush again, this time quarter, bit more accuracy. Just draw that pigment up, add to it as necessary, but don't overdo it in terms of what you add, because an important part of maintaining control in transparent watercolor is not having too much on your brush for certain works. It's a little bit different when laid down the initial wash in the sky, of course, because we need lots of liquid for wet and wet. But once you then get onto the clouds, you reduce the amount on your brush to maintain control. So for the initial wash in the sky, it would be lots of liquid, and then for the clouds, it would be a smaller, more intense amount of liquid. So for the nearby trees, use a smaller brush. You can use a 6, a 4, a 2 if you feel more comfortable. Of course, a 2 will only hold so much pigment. If you need to, you can draw a line down for tree trunk and then shape the tree accordingly and have it varied and as interesting as possible. The northern lights can be seen in many places around the world, normally from September to April. So we were thinking, let us know in the comments if you have been lucky enough to see them and where did you see them. So continuing with those trees in the foreground area, it's sort of middle to foreground, there's not a lot of ground area towards the bottom of this painting. It's unnecessary. All the action is in the top part of the painting. But as you can see, it's basically something like 2/3 of sky, which is the principal subject of this painting, and then 1/3 of landscape. So drawn in some of those tree trunks for indication, and then just filling in. You might find yourself doing an underpainting, first of all, for these closest trees. And then once it's dry, semi-dry, you might drop in some dark versions of the mix of water to pigment. So less water, more pigment. And because it's repetitious, we've just repeated the process on the right-hand side. And then for the foreground, we've used the scraping technique, side of the brush, pigment, quite strong, and scraping the surface of the paper. This Archer's 140-pound rough paper and the 300-pound is perfect for this. It enables you to take advantage of the texture of the paper. And now, as I mentioned earlier, I've just chosen at this stage, it's a good time to strengthen up the density of some of those trees so that they're even more defined because they are closer to us. I think it's coming together quite well. As you see, there's only a minute to go. So I think you should tackle this one. It will be impressive. Your friends and relatives will very much be impressed with what you can achieve here with the Northern Lights. And like I said, I do hope that we get your feedback. And do make suggestions as well from time to time to us as to other subjects that you'd like me to tackle. And if we can, we will do so. Finally, on this occasion for the stars, I don't really go much for the paint splatter. Um, you could use some chalk to just indicate a few stars. You could argue it would have been better with a pointed pencil type chalk um, to get them a little bit more rounded, but it's okay. It's just telling a story. So here we are. Here's a final reveal. I think it's very effective, very colorful, impactful, and I really hope you have a go at this one. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you next time.